So, this is Sunday night, and my Sabbath is coming to a close. So, I had a pretty challenging week, we'll put this way. So, today, we discovered that after 3 years of faithful crafting, a MySpace offering got hacked and deleted entirely today. And I had something further I wanted to say to the girl that I love now. Alright. The thing is, so I was not a happy camper. I was, talking to God and reading scriptures, and all it just does is exacerbate things, like, Anyway, so we'll get into the scripture stuff another tape, but you need to know, like, this is, it's really, really crazy. What we're doing right now is not smart. Anyway, so, but besides all that, I'm sitting around feeling terribly, terribly sorry for myself earlier today. Benching and moaning and whining up a storm, and so I have very few consultants that I can trust. One consultant I have is the Quran, and the other is the Bible, and another is the Bhagavad Gita, and another is the I Ching. So the I Ching is by far the oldest of these scriptures, and somewhere between 5,000, 7,000 years, 5,500, 7,000 years ago. So I'm going to understand. I'm the same age as those rocks. Anyway, so the thing is, like, I rely on the I Ching because it's a very intuitive book, and I use it sparingly, and so basically today it tells me I'm led to page 511, confining kun. Okay. It starts out oppressed, restricted, exhausted, cut off, at the end of your resources, the moment of truth, search within to find the way out. Right. Right. Yeah. Telling the truth about my situation, but nothing I don't already know. Alright, so it's basically saying, okay, so we got your attention. As it goes, confining describes your situation in terms of being cut off, oppressed, and exhausted. Its symbol is the tree of life, confined in a narrow enclosure. The way to deal with it is to collect the energy to break out of the enclosure and re-establish communication. Make an offering and you will succeed. This is pleasing to the spirits. Through it, they will give you success, effective power, and the capacity to bring the situation to maturity. Be great and master the situation from within. Find what is truly important to you. Seek those who can help and advise you. This generates meaning and good fortune by releasing transformative energy. The situation is not your fault. Words are not to be trusted. There is a breakdown of communication, and you are being isolated by it. You are not believed when you speak. Don't believe what others are telling you to do. Okay. So, here's how it starts. Okay. basically bullseye on the truth. I don't really like it. You know, I wish they would give me one of these, these juicy fortune cookies. Anyway, I rarely get those. Anyway, so this font of wisdom finishes off his dissertation some few pages later. So 511, say page 520. So 9 pages later, by saying, okay. Temporal negative something will but has not yet occurred, contrary of already. Okay. Ideogram going through obstacles to the goal. Straighten, correct the crooked, reform, repay injustice, proceed directly, sincere, upright, just, blunt, outspoken. Acquiesce, accept, make peace with, agree to, at rest, satisfy, patient, bless. Heavenly gifts make happy, spiritual power and goodwill. Ideogram, spirit and plenty, heavenly gifts in abundance. 6 above, confined by trailing creepers. That's how I feel. Confined by trailing creepers. By the unsteady and unsettled. Spoken thus, stirring up repenting, possesses repenting, chastising auspicious. Confined by trailing creepers, not appropriate indeed, not yet appropriate indeed. Stirring up, repenting, possesses repenting, auspicious to move indeed. Stop indulging yourself. This shouldn't even bother you. If you sit around and groan all the time, all you hear is lamentation. Well, there's the sound of your own voice. Take yourself in hand and get yourself in order. That will open the way. Don't just sit around trying to make everyone else feel guilty. Christ. Now, that's why I pay this guy the big bucks. Like, think of it. I'm important enough to somebody that they sit around and figure out a way to hack into my MySpace account and delete the whole thing. Just to cause me some loss somehow. It's not a secret where I live. I hide from nobody. And it wasn't even a political effort. It was just basically a love letter. A love letter. So, I would consider it put in a bottle and sent to the princess it was intended for. I hope she gets it. Yeah, just hang on a second. I don't have to be concerned about how long I talk on YouTube. I talk for hours. If anyone want to listen. So, what was I talking about? last thread. Well, yeah, like, you know, bitching and whining and moaning and complaining to God, you know, so. I think he's been telling me the same thing. You know, everybody's telling me the same thing. You know, like, I'm healthier than most people can imagine being, I think, and, you know, I have energy and enthusiasm for life in hand, and I think I can say I've got a great deal of patience now. I've been practicing patience for quite a while now. And I think I've got some handle on it most of my life. But, you know, this loss-seeking is a really perverted thing to do when you think about it. Like, think of this. To have so little to offer in life that nobody wants you or pays any attention to at all. And you're jealous of other people's relationships with other people. So you seek to harm them in some way to get some kind of vitality, some kind of juice in your own life, some current for yourself. Except every time you do this, you sink lower. Is that, like, the way out for you is admitting each time you've done this to every person you've done it to. You know, the curriculum's the same for everyone. You know, so if you've engaged in this activity, you've got a rather long road to hoe. If you haven't, consider thank your lucky stars. And if you have, that's the deal. Nothing's going to remain hidden. You're not going to get to hide behind a corporate veil under a rock. No place. This is the deal. This is the last day. You're it. You knew it could happen. It was whispered in your ear. You knew definitely this was a possibility. And you said, I'll be dead way before it ever happens, if it ever happens. Like, we've been waiting for thousands of years. You know, they crucified Jesus last time he came around. You know, Muhammad had a good kick in the balls for, showing up as well. So, I mean, it's not likely, not within my lifetime. So, fuck it. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to piss on whoever I can and steal whatever's not nailed down. End story. Squeeze testicles, tits, whatever is necessary. Get my end up. I got out of fancy cottage and let me go too, It's interesting. My understanding is 100% of the cottages on this chain of islands, it's called Millionaires Row on Lake Muskoka, are all owned by bankers. So you got a salary of like $500,000 a year, $300,000 a year, but you get bonus possibilities built into your employment contract. They have what are called key result areas of performance to satisfy or supersede. And if they're superseded, you get your bonus based on mathematical ratio of the supersession. Anyway, so about 80% of what gets discussed in most executive group meetings when they meet together is Bonus. How are we going to keep our bonuses up? How does it look for bonuses this year? So, politicians have their bonus system as well. Everybody does. Like you're all crooked as a dog's hind leg, all of you. Or you're supporting an organization that has. Basically a banker is a bean counter. I bring 100 shekels into the bank. He gives me a receipt for the 100 shekels. I can count on when I go back there, I'll get my 100 shekels back. I pay him, $10 a year rent or whatever for storing my shekels. This is banking. But with the help of jurisprudence and tort law, contract law, and the interpretation and application and the latitude and leeway available in every aspect of that proceeding leaves it ripe for molestation. You see this? Now, our experience is that most stuff that has value and that is ripe for molestation generally is enjoying that activity at the present time. So, I'm going to do what the I Ching says. Even I get sick and tired of sitting around listening to bitch and moan and whine and complain how life is not devoting itself to making me happy. But when I signed up, that wasn't the deal. It was my job to kind of do that. So, the fact that life throws me a few curveballs, is no. I was never tempted to get into the game, but I mean, it's just, it's just an irritating, aggravating, snitty little. There's a guy in my building. I think it's a guy. I hope it's a guy that likes to pee on the floor of the elevator on Fridays because he knows nobody's going to be able to clean until Monday. He's given up doing it for a long, long time, and but 2 Fridays in a row did it again recently. And I think I know who it is, but I can't prove it, and I would never try to. And the individual is seriously mentally challenged to begin with, and I can remember getting pissed off by a lot of conduct that was being done, like huge bullshit, lies, horseshit, pervaded sound reasoning. Let me just give you that for instance. Consider this your Sunday night sermon from your king. Let me just get this. Front page of the Toronto Star. This is Friday Star, I believe. See this? Alright. Crown must now report police who lie. They couldn't hide it any longer, in spite of the fact that they've got collusion, proven collusion between 30 cases of collusion, reluctantly admitted collusion, which is basically fraud in legal parlance between the police and a forensic medical specialist by the name of Dr. First or Dr. West or whatever. And so basically what the police did is give this doctor a first hand job sufficient to have his capitulation to view evidence any way they saw fit, in spite of the truth of the situation. One individual, having spent 13 years in Kingston Penitentiary for having killed his own daughter, now you need to understand that 13 years in that environment for that offense would be more than anything anyone could imagine. It hasn't been there. I haven't. But I've been close enough to see that the man's very, very lucky to be in one piece and alive. And so these police officers have okay, so let me tell you what's going to happen to them now if they're caught lying. Ontario's Attorney General creates strict new policy in the wake of Star investigation that revealed officers' use of deceit under oath. Okay? Now, the Star revealed this last year in April. Good. That's just about the time I was arrested. Again, January I was arrested as well. Anyway, I was arrested twice this year. Okay. Both as a consequence of lying police officials. I'd be prepared to debate this with any rational group of unpartisan individuals you can put together. As many of them as we can, 100 million, 200 million would be fine by me. 7 billion would be ideal. Anyway, so, like, think of this. Most of the men, 70% of the men in the United States at least, and I'm almost certain, theoretically plausible to assert Canada as well, are incarcerated on drug-related issues. I would call that prohibition-related issues. So 70% of the crime in North America can be immediately lost. The costs thereunto as well. But that would leave these liars out of a job. And the police prosecute them. Anyway, so let me read you this. So, Ontario's crown attorneys will soon be required to report cases where they believe police officers lied under oath. I'm a crown attorney lying under oath. I've got judges, Superior Court jurors, Superior Court crown prosecutors, and senior legal talent that can't add 19 plus 19 and get a correct answer. I know 20 plus 20 would be easier. That's true. But it was a toughie. And it was on Friday afternoon. I'll grant you that. Understand? But the same college of individuals feel it's quite proper to have someone who reads it forwards a minute invoice $400 an hour to do so because he's got a legal degree behind his signature. Anyway, so let me continue to read this article. So, Ontario Crown attorneys will soon be required to report cases where they believe police officers have lied under oath. The new policy comes after Star investigation earlier this year found more than 100 cases of police deception in Ontario and across the country. When last day, month, week, year doesn't say, it's vague, okay? The Star also found that Ontario, like most provinces, had no formal mechanism to investigate allegations of police lying in court. So you go to say, well, this policeman lied. There's nothing you can do. There's nobody to deal with it. Nothing in the system. No checks and balances for this. And this is a fairly significant thing because today, men are imprisoned based on the seriousness of the allegations alone. In Ontario, Canada, 62.7% of them are innocent. They're behind bars. Anyway, so what's happening is, what we're finding is we've got 62% of the men in jail haven't even been before a judge. And the police are accusing them lie so much that it's embarrassing the people who are supposed to be monitoring them. But there's no real monitoring going on because they got no system to do it with. There's nobody with a wit between their ears to even ask the questions or concern or interest in the fact one way or another. It's important that we determine whether, okay, so when there are concerns raised about the integrity of our justice system, quote, Attorney General John Gerritsen, who ordered his ministry to probe the issue in April following the Starr investigation. So this means this guy's the director of this thing, the guy responsible for this thing, who's asleep to this happening. This is what they're saying, trying to get me to believe. In spite of the fact that they had to pay some kind of compensation to 30 cases that were found, provably found to be fraudulent collaboration, covert collaboration between medical people and I believe it was Durham Regional Police. Or York Regional Police, doesn't matter, whichever one. Maybe both, who knows, who cares. Anyway, so that you know, so confident that it's going to be possibly happening in his ministry, he's asleep to the possibility that it might be. So this is what they're saying here. Okay. It is important that we determine whether those concerns are warranted. The final decision will be mine to see whether they exist or not. Already it's horseshit. This guy's an attorney himself. He knows the truth has no place in the practice of law in this hemisphere. The law is a business. And now, they used to be, they started out as being in the business of keeping people out of jail. Now they're in the business of capitulating and colluding with the police to keep you in jail. Anyway, let me just finish this. This is no secret. This is known to even the lower minions. It's not, you know, it's like what? Being a lawyer is a little bit of an embarrassment in the legal community right now. You see this? One time, being a solicitor was kind of a badge of pride of some substance. Anyway. Okay, so if so, we must do something to address them. That is exactly what we've done here. There was so little oversight of the problem in Ontario that some police forces, not no judges, have found that their officers misled the court. Let me read that to you. There was so little oversight of the problem in Ontario that some police forces did not know judges had found that their officers misled the court. So you mean to tell me that judges do not speak to the police? That there's no congress between jurists and the police? And the police, the boss of the police, had no interest in whether this was occurring or not, and had no yardstick to dip in the well for this. Anyway, internal investigations into 4 cases, 3 in Peel Region, 1 in York, were started after Starr brought the courtroom misconduct to police department's attention. Ontario's chief prosecutor, James Cornish, tasked with looking into the issue, recently completed his report. On Thursday, the government informed Starr of a new policy which would take effect before the year's end. And you know what's going to happen to the police officers who lie? They're going to get their names put on a list. That's why we have to have metal detectors in our courts of law. The pretense of justice is falling to shreds. And this is the last thing to go before the sweep of civilizations are just gone. Rome, Alexander the Great's effort, Caesar, Pharaoh, when the laws grow fat on the people that they're purporting to serve, as when the decay turns to cancer and the civilization is just toast. There's been every other instance throughout history, but you know what? You're smarter than me, and you can figure out how to navigate through this with a little more bullshit. You know, put a little more a bullshit band-aid on the issue, and that'll do her until next year. And we'll worry about it then. That was remember this time last year, the super committee was going to get things done. You're come up with some kind of solution within 20 days or whatever. And the truth is, people have been stealing from you left, right, and center, and you're too dim-witted to see it, and too naive to appreciate how vulnerable you are. You believe that nobody could possibly be that brazen and that ballsy to just usurp the net worth of countries. Because it's legal to do it, you see. They've got jurists that will support this conduct. Like justice, human justice, to be a human justice, to call yourself a judge, and to allow others to call you a judge. You have to be a truth worshiper, or you're a whore, a slut, an ugly slut in a black gown that gives hand jobs for any pence at all. So it's one or the other, and the sad thing I found is that most of them following the latter category. I've experienced it from both sides. Yeah. Let me tell you, in 1980, I was charged with first-degree murder. My wife. And we had an argument that night, and I hit her in the nose. I didn't intend to, but I did. And right, she went downstairs and died. Before she did, she came upstairs and asked me, to the fact that I hit her, I said, that's it, that's the end of the relationship. But, you cannot do this, so it doesn't matter what it was intentional or not intentional. You're bleeding, your nose is hit. I did it. This is it. It's over. And so I threw it in my life. That's what I told her, and I wanted to impress upon her how serious this type of thing was. You just couldn't be doing this. Like she was a feisty little girl. Yeah. So I wanted her to have the experience of the loss, but I knew I never really follow through on it. It would be impossible. Anyway, she didn't see things that way, and she believed me, and so she then took every bit of medication that we had in the house. The combination thereof killed her. Now, I didn't know this until my trial. What I knew was I was charged with her murder. And the police didn't like me. But I knew that for a while. I wasn't expecting the police to like me. I have a past. Yeah. Not particularly bad one, but we played cops and robbers, and they won enough to convince me I better find another line of work, and I did. So I didn't rob anybody, I sold pot. Anyway, so the thing is I saw the shift from when I was playing dope is I'm gonna sell pot. He said, I think I am. Right, so from that time where the police were always honorable. That's not that they didn't threaten to use violence. That's not that they didn't use it very, very, with me, always very gently. It never hurt me. No. I felt far safer having a cop's gun pointed in my face than a speed freak's. Even if the cop was speeding. So, the thing is, the difference was, in 1980, they lied and made up stories. I was shocked, appalled, distraught, and very deeply disturbed about that. It was like they were making mud balls and seeing if something would stick to the wall. Anything they could possibly postulate, they tossed. And it was a desperate effort. Unfortunately, I had one of the greatest legal minds at that time, in Toronto, certainly anyway. His name was David Humphreys. He made a very, very short defense. He just called one witness, forensic pathologist. And he determined the cause of death was not me smothering her or beating her or breaking her nose, but the fact that she took a combination of Valium and Seconal. And the combination, either one of them alone, likely wouldn't have done the combination that's, held her. And, so, that's what it took for me to find out that, my blow to her nose in some way, hurt her. I guess I wanted to kill her. Anyway, the thing is, if I was charged with first-degree murder, I got bail. I charged on Friday afternoon. I was bailed on Monday morning or something. And so I waited a year for my trial, and in that year, I walked around the streets of my hometown thinking, fuck, I might be a killer of women that I love. Just, racking over and over and over and over the experience. I say, what I could have done differently, what I should have done, I kind of figured she died from a drug overdose, but I didn't know where she got it, I didn't think that much left. Anyway, so I didn't know. But today, so what happened at that time was the judge heard both sides of the story and said, okay, good. So, Mr. Gushing, I find you guilty of living a garbage lifestyle, but innocent of the charges proffered. If you have no further business with this court, you're free to go. So he took not a second to deliberate, make up. I liked. That was nice. We could have maybe wait for an hour or 5 hours or 3 days or 7 days or 2 months, however long he liked. We didn't wait a second. He also told me he didn't want to see me back in his courtroom again. And I didn't, I'd never been back. Until this recent stuff. Which is pure hallucination. All of it. So, in 1980, what would have happened is because of the seriousness of the police allegations we're finding today are embarrassed, lying so that it's embarrassing the people who are alleged to be monitoring them. Star assures us that everything's been taken care of. Their names are going to be a list now. Forgetting entirely that the things they're lying about are keeping people in jail. Again, on the front page. Girlfriend hails man as hero for stabbing burglar. Says he saved my life after charges withdrawn. This is just to show you that justice is being done in Ontario, Canada. Betsy Powell, Courts Bureau. If called upon again, Moses Mahalel would do what he had done to defend his family. But soft-spoken and stoic, Mahalel uttered few words Thursday after the Crown withdrew an aggravated assault charge laid against him 14 months ago after he stabbed a man who had broken into the West End home he shares with his girlfriend of 5 years and her mother. Mahalel, who faced up to 14 years in prison and found guilty, said he was relieved but perplexed it took the Crown as long as it did to withdraw the charge. Asked if he still had faith in the criminal justice system, Mahalel said he did, but it took over a year, right? What this doesn't say is that this Mahalel guy, because of the seriousness of the allegations, you stabbed this guy in an aggravated assault, probably quite handsomely. He spent 14 months in jail awaiting, how long was it? Over a year. Yeah, 14 months ago. 14 months ago in jail to be acquitted. Why is that smart? Why imprison innocent people? Because your nitwit in-laws need a job. First concern is, stop, this is how you reduce crime. I know all kinds of other crime gets reduced as well. You do this, you lose about 90% of your crime. That means you lose 90% of your police officers, 90% of your fucking jurists and judges. That would be a day to fucking celebrate. Can we say this? Have some truthful rule happening in this fucking planet. Sermon on the Mount from your King of Kings. Sunday, October 28th.